Salud mi gente, you boys coming through once again. Before we continue with this video, do not forget to hit the like, subscribe to the channel. For those who've been showing love and support to the channel, I do highly appreciate it. This video was requested by one of you guys, and it was an incident that took place in Iztapalapa, Mexico, in where 27 people got unalive, 18 people in the hospital, and 39 people thankfully made it out of the hospital. Every single one suffered burns, right? According to reports, right, there was a gas truck transporting 50,000 liters of gas, right, traveling from point A to point B. You can see that on the cameras. All of a sudden, it hits a blind spot. It's a little curve. That truck flip on its side. Gas start leaking. You see a big, cloud of smoke. And then all of a sudden, the unthinkable happened. A big explosion, man. So just imagine yourself, man, in the LA traffic. All of a sudden, an accident happened, right? A gas truck flip on its side. You see all this gas coming out of the truck, right? Big cloud. And then what do, man? You can't go forward. You can't go backwards. You're in traffic. You're stuck in traffic. Do you stay right there or you get out of your car? People got out of their cars. Start running, the opposite way. Because they knew what was going to happen. And sure enough, it took place. It happened, the explosion. In these videos that I'm showing, you see how it happened. You see the people trying to run away from it. And as they're running away, their clothes is burning. I seen this one video of this, the aftermath, right? Where somebody's recording. And you see somebody laying down. It seems like an older guy. No clothes on, burn, everything, laying down. Screaming for help, saying that he can't see. Saying that he can't see. Laying down. Can you imagine just being in that situation? Having a family member being in that situation? Like that grandma who had, I believe it was her granddaughter in a blanket. I believe she saved the granddaughter. The grandma is the one who suffered the burns, you know. The granddaughter got protected. Little baby. It's a little baby. You know, not, let's say, probably like 2 months old, 3 months old. It is a tragedy that right now all Mexico is speaking about. And I wanted to show you guys, man. Whoever's in charge of this investigation is saying that the truck was speeding, right? But there's actually, they just did some, I believe yesterday, they did some investigation, right? Because everybody's on this story. And they came across a camera, right? A camera that captured this gas truck driving seconds before the accident, right? And you see the gas truck driving normal. 2 cars ahead of them. So basically it's going at the same speed as the cars. I don't know what happened after, 10 seconds, 15 seconds after the incident. But something happened where this pipeline hit a curve. It flipped it on its side. And something sharp hit the top of the tank. And then you see this big smoke, white smoke coming out. And then after that was it. You've seen people on videos how they got out of their cars, start running the opposite way, and then all of a sudden, boom, big explosion, man. That is something sad. It is something sad. You know, let's be honest about this. When it comes down to care in Mexico, it's very poor. And it's not because the government does not send money to the hospitals. It's not because of that, you know. The government does send money to the hospitals, but Whoever's in charge of the hospital, man, pockets that money. Whoever's in charge of that hospital buys the less expensive equipment so he can pocket that money. They buy less medicines, less equipment, less of everything, so they can pocket that money, right? So there was this this nurse doing an interview, and she was basically saying, man, that they're working 36 hours shifts, right? 36 hours. Imagine 36 hours shift. They got bombarded with patients. That's a total of what? 50, 60, 70, like 80 something. A total 80 something patients, 84 patients, if I'm not mistaken. If my math calculation is good. 84 people. 36 hours shift. Tired. You know where they sleep at? Under a patient's bed. All they do is put a cardboard on the floor. They sleep right there. And after their shift is done, they're not allowed to leave the hospital until whoever's in charge of that hospital pops up, decides to come to work, and relieves them. Be like, okay, you're good to go home. There's nurses who quit that job. Be like, nah, this lady right here, nah. Whoever's in charge of that hospital, nah. I mean, no. This is not right. So they quit. You know, a lot of people, I can guarantee you that a lot of people didn't make it because of that. Didn't have the right care. And it's sad, but it's reality. You know, we do, as Mexican citizens, blame the staff. We do blame the staff. It happens right here where I'm at. Always blaming the staff, you know. Oh, the staff is not doing this, not helping. And we have to think, actually, the big picture. Who's actually responsible for that? You know? Yeah, sometimes the staff are not trained enough, or, you know, nobody's perfect. But you have to see that actually the government send resources to different hospitals, but sometimes they don't make it. Sometimes they don't got the money because that does not make it to where they need to go for whatever reason, right? But this incident was very sad. I seen a video of a grandma who, I don't know if I said already, but she was saving her 2 month year. Yeah, she was like 2 months, or yeah, she was like 2 months old. Her granddaughter. Grandma was all burned, but the baby was intact. It was a little baby, like 2 months old, intact. I don't know if the grandma ended up making it. I think she did, man. She didn't seem like she was burned that bad, you know. But man, imagine being in that situation, man. As you can see on the videos, how once the smoke coming out, a lot of people started jumping out of the cars, running in the opposite direction. But still, man, you cannot outrun that gas, that explosion. You cannot do that, right? There's a crazy ass story that I would like to share with you guys of a guy who actually made it out. His friends, because you have to think about this. A lot of those people who got unalive, homeless people that were living under the bridge. There's a lot of homeless right here in Mexico too, and they decide to live under the bridge. And once this happened, of course, they're right there in the middle of everything. Sadly, they got unalive, but one guy made it, and it is sad how he tells his story, man. He tells it in Spanish, man. This video got, I don't know how many million views. I believe like 4 million views. And how he expressing, how he's sad and stuff like that, and how he got saved, man. It's crazy because when it's not your turn, is not. You know what I mean, it was not his time. It was not his time, man. And thankfully, he's saved, but he came back to see his friends, man. Sadly, be burned and stuff like that. So with this being said, we are out. Do not forget to hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and any update, I'll let you guys know, man.